Mario Kart has characters. Characters from the Mario universe, so let's talk and rank them based on my biased feelings towards them. I won't include crossover characters like Link or Pac-Man because I want to focus on the Mario part of Mario Kart, but I will include characters from the dreaded mobile game Mario Kart Tour because I'm feeling evil today. Starting with the lowest tier characters, wow, Pink Gold Peach at the bottom of a Mario Kart character ranking? How original. I really don't have much else to say on the topic that others haven't beaten to death. It's a basic ass repaint of a character that's already in the roster. Characters like this should have been costumes instead of taking up a whole ass slot. The name is ridiculous. They should have just called her Rose Peach. Yada yada yada, moving right along. Who the hell cares? It's not 2014 anymore. Mario Kart 8's character roster has long been redeemed. Baby Peach is also with the pink gold meme girl at the bottom. I don't have any malicious reasons why, I just don't find her appealing. She hasn't stood out in any of the Mario games for me to latch on to her like the other babies, and there's other better Peach variants on the roster to go to. Those are the only two D tier characters. And yes, I am serious. I tolerate most Mario Kart characters. I mean, they're Mario characters. Hating them would be like hating a fluffy, nice sugar-flavored snack. To start off C tier, we have Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach, who, in my opinion, shouldn't be taking full-blown character slots. They should be costumes, like the selectable colors for Shy Guys and Yoshis. It bugs me to see these two take up their own slots, which makes my character ranking of them seem harsher than I would be on them. I do appreciate the new trick animations related to the Tanuki and Cat-like elements of the characters that help them stand out from their basic versions, but I prefer the basic versions if I'm gonna play as those characters anyway. Speaking of basic, Peachette!
Why do you disappoint me?
I know a lot of people hate this character both in Mario Kart and out, but you know what? She's fine, she's harmless. I still think she should be a costume slot instead of continuing Mario Kart's clone saga, but at this point I can't really do anything about it. Plus, I admittedly have some good friends who are really passionate about the character, so they've softened my feelings on her compared to others. Time to discuss 4 characters in one, 4 of them being the darn Koopalings. Larry, Lemmy, Iggy, and Wendy are just fine, but I prefer the other Koopalings. Same goes for Hammer Bro from the mobile game, I just do not care to play as those menaces in a kart racer. To round off C tier, we have the rest of the babies. I know Baby Rosalina messes with the Mario canon, but I don't know, her and Baby Daisy are just cuter compared to Baby Peach. Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, however, are the best babies on the roster, not just because they're funny little goobers, but they had an entire RPG dedicated to endear us to them. Side note, I really hope Partners in Time gets a reprisal eventually. Not the best Mario RPG, but a darn good one that deserves to be talked about with Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story. Actually, I lied. We have one more pick for C tier, and it's possibly my most controversial of the video. I do not care for Metal Mario. Yes, he has connections to Smash Brothers, but I never really cared for that boss fight there, and if we're using Mario 64 cred, then just make him a costume like I keep suggesting to do with Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach. I honestly would have put Metal Mario in D tier if not for his infamously high stats in Mario Kart 7, which is the only thing that makes him notable for me. Okay. We're going from one controversial pick to another, with Donkey Kong Jr. starting at the bottom of B tier. Yeah, his new Mario Kart Tour version with the whole pixel model gimmick does a lot for him, but 1, it's stuck in a mobile game I didn't like, and 2, it gives me those Walmart t-shirts, whoa, so retro vibes, and I'm sorry, those vibes are not for me. It's still cool he came back in some way after Super Mario Kart, I just wish he was in good Mario Kart games. I'm lumping all 4 Doctors into one section because I have the same thoughts on all of them. I like Dr. Mario both in Smash Brothers and his own series, and while it is a bit strange to see him karting, seeing freaking Bowserville characters get a PhD is so fun and makes for one of the better character alts on the roster. Monty Mole is a Monty Mole. This feels like the most filler pick imaginable for the mobile game. Next, Basic Peach and Basic Mario. Tried true standard picks that may not be the most unique or popular in Mario Kart, but are always nice to see in every game nonetheless, and you kinda need them to make Mario Kart Mario Kart. If you're tired of me grouping characters, well, that's not gonna stop anytime soon because we have 3 whole Toads taking the same position in my tier list. Regular Toad is a funny guy, Toadette needs more personality in a spin-off game or RPG for my liking, but she's still neat, and Captain Toad is a good lad and my favorite of the Toads. Really wish Blue Toad or Toads were for here, but if you need Toads for Mario Kart, these are the ones you call, and they're fine for that. You guys like Paratroopa? It's a Koopa with wings! That's only in like 1 game! I think I like this character more for how mysterious it is for the Mario Kart lore than anything else. To close out B tier, we have Kamek! Kamek was always meant to be in Mario Kart as early as 64, and I actually like Kamek in other Mario media, so I'm down to see this character choice. I just have other characters I'm more attached to, and speaking of, that brings us to the A tier. We start with a couple of Bowser's minions, Wiggler and Charging Chuck. They're so low in A tier because they really only got prominence in one game each, but I'd still pick them if they were in more games. While I'm not the biggest Pauline stan, she's still a fun character, especially with her glow up in Mario Odyssey, so I think it was really cool that she was one of the last characters to be introduced in 8 Deluxe. I like that Birdo has multiple colors like the Yoshis and Shy Guys, and I think she deserves to be in more Mario media, so I'm happy she came back for 8 Deluxe's booster pack. Hope to see her in a platformer game again someday. The Lakitus are always monitoring the racing that takes place in Mario Kart, so it's cute to see one of them let loose and join the fun himself. Good for Lakitu. We have another bundle of characters incoming with the 3 other Koopalings, aka the ones I actually like and wouldn't mind playing as. Ludwig, Morton, and Roy each have a unique swagger and cool factor to them that I find quite appealing. Speaking of appealing, Diddy and Dixie Kong are funny monkeys, which is all I need to put them higher than most characters on this list. Yeah, some may argue Dixie is better because of how she replaces Diddy and Tropical Freeze with her powers, but that's just mechanics. As characters, I like them both equally. The Honey Queen is a character I wish came back for 8 Deluxe, but it seems like she's only going to be a 7 exclusive for the foreseeable future as the Mario spin-offs leave any Mario Galaxy elements to the past minus Rosalina. Speaking of, Rosalina! Definitely one of the most fleshed out Mario characters thanks to her backstory in Galaxy 1, so I can see why many would attach to her as a playable character in spin-off titles like Mario Kart. She has that extra gravitas that few other Mario characters have. That being said, I put Daisy a bit higher because she's just so darn charming. To round out A tier, we have Mr. Death Stare and Ghostbuster himself, Luigi. Do I have to explain this? It's Luigi, man. Luigi's the coolest guy alive. Sure, his year-long takeover at Nintendo reported record losses, but it gave us New Super Luigi U, one of the most underrated Nintendo platformers and the best of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Also Luigi's Mansion, I guess, I don't know. Okay, we're at the final tier, the highest tier, S tier. We began with the best of the best, with Poochie. Yes, Poochie from Yoshi's Woolly World. He's in the mobile game, and I wish I could play as him in the main games, because he's an adorable homemade dog. How can I not put him in the toppest of tiers? Petey Piranha is a character I was first introduced to as a boss fight in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and what a character he was. He made a scary first impression in the game, but over time I realized he was just a goofy guy in games like Sunshine and Mario Sluggers. Much like Birdo, I hope he comes back in another platformer game, but it's nice to see him preserved in Mario Kart. Well, DK is finally here and performing for you. He's a funny monkey, but big. I love Donkey Kong in his games, Tropical Freeze being one of my favorite games of all time, so he's always high on characters I want to play in Mario Kart. As for the funkiest of Kongs, he's only shown up in 2 main Mario Karts, but he's arguably the golden child of the series. I haven't used him as much as I want to since most of the copies of Mario Kart Wii I played back in the day never had him unlocked, but come on, he's Funky Kong. Even if you've somehow never played Mario Kart, everyone loves Funky Kong once they lay their eyes on him. That being said, I prefer a few other characters over Funky Kong, so let's destroy my reputation right now. Yoshi has always been one of my favorite Mario characters ever since I discovered the series. I love this adorable green dinosaur, and he got even better in 8 with his multiple color variations, which earns him a ton of bonus points for his customization options. Definitely one of the best usual suspects in Mario Kart. I love Wario. I love his games, I love his jokes, I love his amiibo, I love the character, I love Wario. But I'm a basic bitch, so I like Waluigi a bit more. I mean, Waluigi has Waluigi Pinball, while Wario's courses in Mario Kart are more mixed. Quality over quantity is what I'm saying. Bowser and Bowser Jr. are some of the most iconic gaming villains out there. While Jr. is more rare to find in the usual Mario Kart roster, Bowser has basically been in every game. Either way, I love this father and son duo. They steal the show in nearly every Mario thing they're in, so I demand an S tier for the king and would-be king. Speaking of kings, King Bob and King Boo may seem like circles with crowns on them, but they're cool personality-filled circles with crowns on them, dang it. I quite enjoy when Bowser's goons get the spotlight, which is why Koopa, Shy Guy, and Dry Bones are also joining the big bad bosses in S tier. Dry Bones especially gets bonus points since he has one of the coolest vehicles in the series with that Mario Kart DS tank cart. Let's move away from organized villainy into more chaotic neutral shenanigans with Nabbit. I hope Nabbit gets a chance to appear in more games and gets fleshed out as a character more, because they have a lot of potential being a chaotic neutral but mischievous funny little guy. As for one of my favorite Mario Kart characters I've been picking since the Wii days, we have Dry Bowser. I know it's hypocritical to complain about variants taking up full character slots on the roster, then have one of my top 3 characters be a variant, but it's Dry Bowser, man, one of the sickest versions of Bowser out there. This is totally that bias your mama warned you about, but since he's a character I usually pick when playing Wii or 8 Deluxe, it would feel wrong not including him in S tier. But you know who's cooler than Dry Bowser? A robot that's only appeared in one game and shows no signs of coming back to Mario Kart. R.O.B. R.O.B. I don't know if he counts as a guest character like the Splatoon or Animal Crossing guys, but R.O.B. got into Mario Kart before guest characters were established as commonplace in the series. And I know I'm removing guest characters from the initial ranking, but you know what? I'm gonna make an exception for one of my favorite Nintendo/Smash Bros. Characters ever. Besides my bias, it helps that this was the beginning of R.O.B.'s big comeback from being an old 80s Nintendo toy to being one of the best oddball picks Sakurai ever did for Smash Bros. The only Mario Kart R.O.B. to appear in, Mario Kart DS, predated Brawl by 3 years, meaning it is very possible that his inclusion in DS did influence Sakurai to put him in Smash. I'd love to play as R.O.B. in Mario Kart again, but I'm okay with him being relegated to a bygone era. The bot is preserved in Smash Bros. Now, I'm fine with him being a weird but wonderful one-off in the Mario Kart series. Anyway, that's all the Mario characters plus R.O.B. and Mario Kart ranked. I guess since I broke the rules for R.O.B., I can quickly run down the guest characters, but I don't really have any strong feelings on them, to be honest. The Pac-Man guys were only in the arcade games I rarely play. I'm not the biggest Zelda or Animal Crossing fan, and while I like Splatoon, in this scenario of kart racing, I don't want to play as the basic Kreda character. Would rather play as any of the named characters in the series like Callie or Marie. That being said, they all are solid additions to spice up the roster, but they are simply not for me. Ah well, thanks for watching this random ass video anyway. I'm gonna go back to playing as Dry Bowser in the most mediocre way possible.